kick us off. Hogwarts Legacy. Oh yes, the game everybody has been talking about right now. And if you have pre-ordered the game, then you're going to get early access to giving it a play. So today is the day that you get some early access to give it a go. And it's out this week on Friday as well. So you'll be able to get your hand on that on Friday. So that will be great for you as well if you fancy that. But we've got a special guest on the show today, and we've got one of our Jinx writers in who's done a very in-depth review of the game after playing it as well. I'm joined with Shrey. How are you, Shrey? You good?
Hey Louise, I'm good. What about you?
Good. I'm not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been great to have you on the show. So, of course, you've been having a little delve into Hogwarts Legacy. So it's finally here. What are your sort of overall first comments? Like, what would you say is your initial first thought of the game when you first give it a play?
Well, it dives too deep into nostalgia. I mean, that's
Okay.
what it tries to do. Yeah, that's what it is about. Like, really reliving your Harry Potter fantasy, and well, that's it. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's kind of what we all wanted, our little hearts. I think our Harry Potter hearts definitely wanted to probably see that, which I think is nice. And did you play the previous Harry Potter games as well? Did you play some of the originals from PlayStation 1?
I did. I've played all of them.
Yeah. So it's good to see how it's kind of come. I mean, now it's open world, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so what can people expect in terms of gameplay and sort of like combat, puzzles, all that kind of stuff? Can you get into like the mechanics of the game and how it works?
Well, the combat is pretty basic, I think. I mean, it's very easy if you think. I mean, so. You have like few basic spells that you will be repeatedly pressing the button to cast, and then you have the other spells that actually do a lot of damage. Those are special abilities that you can, have to. They work as special abilities like they did like the way they're usually in RPGs. They have cooldown times. You cannot like cast them together.
Yeah.
They take some time to regenerate, and then you have to cast them. And
Okay.
yeah, that's all it is. Yeah,
What about the puzzles in
and
the
I thought.
game? Are they sort of similar?
Well, they're very simple, I guess. I mean,
Okay.
I think it's very much inspired from last Gorwa games. You'll find a lot of similarities to how the puzzles works in Gorwa games. There's some environmental puzzles that involves casting magic spells, and there's some puzzles that you would require you to like use different kind of spells to just pull objects or like make paths. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't find anything very like challenging or something, but yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
it.
That's fair enough. I think that's the thing is sometimes it is and it isn't just kind of. I mean, what house did you play as, Shrey? What house were you on in Hogwarts?
Well, if my hair didn't give it away,
Hey,
well, I was
Slytherin.
in placement.
Do you know what? That's the house
So,
I want to play as well, Shrey. So that's the one I'm definitely going to be doing on Friday. So I can't wait for that. But I mean, so in terms of the story, obviously, I think each. Am I right in thinking each house kind of takes the story in a different direction depending on what like house you're in?
well, not necessarily. I didn't see any branching narrative that could change the story.
Okay.
It, yeah, it's pretty straightforward for the most part. Whichever house you, I think, as I mentioned in my review, it's very surface level fantasy appealing kind of game. It
Yeah.
just lets you do whatever you want to do, whatever you've always wanted to do in a Harry Potter world, and well, that's it, without having any like huge consequences, about your actions, and that's what it is for the most part.
That's interesting, yeah, because I think from some of the gameplay trailers, it's hard to see if it is going to go in that direction. So that's interesting to know that it doesn't veer off too much from depending on which way you play. I mean, have you got any favourite parts of the game? Was there any parts of the game that you were like, oh, this is perfect, I loved this?
Well, the game tries to like recaptures a lot of moments from the books and the movies, and these are the
Nice.
moments that are really special. When the first time I walked into Honeydukes, I was like, "This is a place that I've always wanted to visit," and the first time walking into it was like made me really happy.
Oh,
So these are the moments that are literal throughout the game, and especially in the story moments. There's this one moment. I don't want to spoil much, but it's
yeah.
very early in the game, and you get to rescue a hippogriff, and
Amazing.
you start to think that this is something that happened in the movies and the books, and now you're trying to get to live that thing. And these are the moments that are really special, and they really hit the right notes with these
Yeah.
kind of moments in the game.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
that's
these really stand out.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. That's really that my little Harry Potter heart is getting excited. That's really cool. I'm looking forward to getting into there. That's going to be a good one. What would you say, Shrey, are your main sort of criticisms of the game? Because obviously, like there are going to be mixed reviews. What would you say your main criticisms are of the game for you?
Well, I feel like it doesn't try anything outside the Harry Potter things, it just tries to capture your heart by putting into scenarios that have already been explored in the movies and the books. It doesn't add anything new to the game, sorry, to the universe.
Mm.
So that's what I felt like where it lacked. I mean, if I'm really curious to know someone who doesn't know anything about Harry Potter universe dives into this game, and I'm really excited, curious to know what they think about this game because when you remove the nostalgia factor, I think it's pretty basic open world game, and
Mm.
we have the standard really high for these kind of games now in the market. So yeah,
Definitely.
that's something that really stood out to me. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
I
it's a
think it's
very basic role playing game.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, I think no, that's it. Yeah, and especially with open world because there are obviously when we've seen the likes of Elden Ring and things like that come about over the absolutely sweep the floor with the possibilities of open world. I mean, obviously like in a lot of the gameplay trailers, I mean, I saw a lot of the iconic stuff from Harry Potter, like the buildings and stuff. Were there some? Have they kind of got it spot on in terms of the set and scenery of the game as well?
So this is something that they really, I would say, really did good.
Yeah,
The environments are really good, especially the Hogwarts. Everything in Hogwarts. The first
yeah,
time you're gonna get to Hogwarts, you probably wanna, go to. Oh, this is the place that I wanna visit. This is the place that I wanna see. And all these locations and points of interest are in the game, and they're done really well. I mean, to the little details. They just really want you to, go to these places and look for yourself and just, oh, this is something that I've always wanted to, see for myself. That's something that they really did a nice job doing.
and how is it sort of like getting across the map as well? Because obviously you can go on a hippogriff, can't you? You can also go on a broom. So like how seamless is that? Because you can also swim, can't you? There's so many ways that you can get across the open world. So how was that experience for you, kind of having all those options to get through the world?
Well, that's pretty seamless, like you mentioned. You can just hop on your mount or broom, whatever, and just explore whatever the open world you can explore on your own pace.
Okay.
And there's no any limitations or restriction outside of the castle and some of the like Hogwarts. You cannot enter Hogwarts while riding a broom. So aside from these restrictions, you can pretty much go anywhere in the game, and that's kind of I think that's very intimidating because as a Harry Potter fan, there's a lot of places to explore outside of Hogwarts, and that really stuck out to me. Even though these places that does not really stick out as in there's really common places like dungeons and caves. They all pretty much look the same. It's not very unique as something we'd find in Elden Ring or like other open world games nowadays, but it's
Yeah.
still pretty interesting to explore. Yeah, because
Brilliant.
it's just a Harry Potter world that you've always wanted to explore. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, fantastic. Do you recommend it overall, Shrey? Do you think, I mean, like you did mention there about like new users coming in and seeing what they would think. Do you think anyone could play it even if they played Harry Potter or not?
Well, they can. I mean, but I don't think like if you're not, this game feels is fused to nostalgia a lot. If you're not a really Harry Potter fan,
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna really enjoy it because it feels very dated in a lot of ways. But if
Yes.
you are a Harry Potter fan, there's a lot to love here. It's like a love letter to the world that we all, grew up with. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think most people are gonna like what they see here, especially because it's very accessible and it's very inclusive in a lot of ways. There's a lot of like complex mechanics and all that stuff, so it's very easy to get into. So yeah, a lot of people are gonna enjoy this game, especially Harry Potter fans.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Shrey. It's been absolutely wicked to have you. And thank you for such a brilliant review on the website as well. If you want to go and read Shrey's review, head over to Jinx TV and you can have a little watch of and read of the review there. Thank you so much, Shrey. It's been wicked to have you.